Alright, Psycroptic, welcome to Europe once again, welcome to Slovenia once again. How are you guys feeling?
Good. It's good to be back. All the shows in Slovenia have always been really cool. So looking forward to it.
I think we've been here, I think probably our third time here. Looking forward to it.
Okay, so this is the fourth day of the tour. Any special stories or happenings in this cold European environment?
Well, the bus has already broken down once.
And it had a flat battery as well. So it's broken down once and had a flat battery last night. So.
4 days in, early tour teething problems, but
should be
everything else is smooth, everyone's cool, it's going to be a good tour.
Okay guys, you're promoting your latest album, The Inherited Repression. How are people accepting? How are people accepting? Are you playing the live material, the new material already live?
Yeah, we've been playing like 3 of the songs, 3 of the tracks, so obviously people aren't quite as familiar with them as previous material, but they seem to be going down really well. So, yeah.
And how was it for you guys to record it? Apparently you had like a time of your lives. It says like on different interviews and on the internet that you really took your time and everything. That seems like to be fitting in place.
Joe works in a local studio, so we were able to track the drums in the studio.
Yeah, we just kind of took our own pace with it all,
So we tracked the drums in the local studio, and then we took the drum tracks to Joe's home studio and worked on it for about 7 or 8 months, just on and off, on the weekends when we could manage it. So
because we've all still got jobs and stuff that we have to do, so we're just trying to fit it in whenever we could,
fitting it in between work and all our other commitments. So yeah, and we weren't watching the clock, and if you're in a studio, you're not paying lots of money watching the clock and paying for this, but that wasn't the case. So it was a little bit too relaxed, probably.
Which probably why it took a bit longer than it should have.
Yeah, but that was good.
What would you guys say that the new album brought in the evolution of Psycroptic, the musical evolution?
That's a good question.
No, I guess we're kind of heading towards a bit more of a groovy kind of aspect. In the past I guess we've always been a bit more intense, a bit more sort of blasty and fast the whole time. I think this album kind of a bit more dynamic musically, and we kind of tried to concentrate a bit more on groove, and the overall structure of songs as well.
So it's still got all the fast blast sections, but then we've got more slower dynamic parts. Yeah, definitely more focused on writing songs.
Yeah, tried to produce it a lot more, so just the songs would build a lot more than what they have in the past.
Yeah, instead of like a whole heap of riffs strung together, it's got a good flow. I hate to use the word, but it's our most mature album, I think.
Would you also say it's a natural step forward from the Observant album? Like it seems that the musical direction was set with the previous album, or
I think so.
Earlier, perhaps?
Yeah, we just do what we do. We don't sit down and go, okay, this album's going to sound like this. We write the songs and then we listen back to, we'll demo them up. Okay, maybe we'll try and incorporate new sounds or elements, but we don't
have like a conscious kind of, we don't think ahead in time, like exactly what we're trying to achieve. We kind of still try to just go with the flow of what happens. So it is a natural progression of what we've been doing in the past, but we do know it's different as well to what we've done.
I guess this time, when we started recording, we had all the structures, but not all the riffs were actually written. So we knew how the songs were going to flow, and we had 70 or 80% of the riffs, and then when Joe started tracking his guitar, he'd add different layers or change different parts. So it definitely evolved in the recording.
Do you see extreme metal as a suitable medium to expand yourselves musically, or do you see it in any way perhaps limiting, because people think that extreme sounds can only go like faster, more brutal, more technical, more unexplainable and chaotic?
I guess you could just call us a metal band, but you know, if you want to get really technical, you could probably say we're an extreme metal band, just because of a lot of the fast blast sections. But I mean, we're not trying to be the heaviest band in the world or the fastest band in the world. We're just trying to write good songs. So
I think it also helps because like, we all listen to like a wide variety of music. Like we don't all just get into metal. So I think everybody's bringing a lot of elements to it. So it does end up kind of being this mesh of kind of everything, you know.
It's heavy music, but with lots of different influences.
When you guys were growing up, when you guys were growing up and you got into metal music, were you like a part of a big scene on Tasmania, or was there like
virtually no scene pretty much when we started? There's a couple of metal bands around down there, but over the last couple of years it's kind of grown. There has been a lot more bands coming out of there, a lot of different styles as well, which is good. But
yeah, when we started, yeah, we were pretty much the only band playing metal, but we still got support from the local music community. You know, we'd play with any band. It didn't have to be a metal band, and you know, people would come out and watch. Tasmania is a very small place. Population is only 500,000 for the whole island, and the city we come from is 200,000. So it's not big at all.
So how did you guys like cross the border from not like geographically, but being from a small and unknown band into like a bigger known band, and then slowly conquering the world as you did? Was it a hard struggle for you guys? I mean,
we weren't even really conscious of it. Just whenever opportunities came up, just like I think, you know, we would just start off playing a few local shows in Tassie, obviously, and then I think a few like mainland Australia gigs came up, so we started doing that. And, yeah, just kind of slowly spilled over.
Every time an opportunity came up, we took it. So, you know, a label was interested. It's like, okay, great, you know, sign with them, and then there's a possibility to do a European tour, and so I thought, yeah, cool, we'll go and do that. So,
do you think that coming from Tasmania was also like a big factor, considering that a lot of people are mostly interested in bands that seem exotic to them because of the different geographic location?
Well, I think it's more after the fact. People hear us and then look into where we're actually from, and it's like, oh, that's pretty crazy. I don't think people listen to us just because we're from Tasmania. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the case.
We seem to be more known as an Australian band, I think. Like just so. Yeah.
So how come? I mean, how did you get into the more extreme scene like death metal and everything? Considering that a lot of people come more to stuff like AC/DC or instead to those parts.
Well, I've always listened to it since I was a kid. You know, Metallica, Slayer, AC/DC, and then just gradually finding heavier and heavier things. You know, first into other Australian bands like Damaged, Bremelin, Bloodduster, all killer Australian bands. I started listening to them when I was in early teens, and then just progressed through and all age of Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation. It was just a natural progression, you know, listening to, oh, that's cool, oh, he's wearing that t-shirt, I'm going to go and check out that band.
Well, you two are also brothers, right? Do you consider it a blessing to have brothers, I mean, to have a brother in a band, or do you consider it a curse sometimes?
It's definitely been a lot easier, you know, in terms of like, you know, forming a band and rehearsing and all that kind of thing.
But we don't know any different.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know. It's easy. I guess it's easy if we're not going to hurt each other's feelings if there's a riff that sucks or a drum beat that sucks. And we're like, no, that's shit. No, we can speak freely. Whether other people might get their egos hurt. So from that point of view, it's probably a good thing.
And you have the same management, so there is no like Sepultura 1996 danger being possible or something like that.
I don't think so.
And how did traveling through the world develop you too as not just musicians but also shaped you as persons, seeing like different cultures and everything?
Again, it's something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid, you know, just travel around and meet different people, see different places. So I think even if I wasn't in the band, I would still be doing it. So it's hard to say how it has shaped me, or shaped any of us, because that's what we wanted to do. But it's definitely a privilege. It's not something we take for granted. There's a lot of people that want to be in our position, and we're fortunate enough to be able to get out there and tour.
Especially where we're from as well. Like, you know, it's a lot harder for people from Tassie to travel the world and do it.
Some people from Tasmania that have never been outside the island. Yeah, they're always very interested in what we've been up to, where we've been, and all sort of things. So yeah, it's definitely a privilege.
You also said that like playing metal is not paying bills for you guys all the time, so you work in a studio, and what the rest of you guys do?
What do I do? It's hard. It's always hard. I teach drums, I do music administration for other bands, like writing grants, things like that. Joe teaches guitar, works in the studio.
Yeah, Cam, our bass player, he's an electrician, and our singer, he's a painter, paints houses and stuff. So. Yeah, they're tradesmen, the other guys. So.
We just try to avoid getting real work.
Okay, what do you guys plan to do in the future after the European tour? You already have new tours scheduled?
We've got a few shows in Southeast Asia coming up, and then I'm not too sure what's happening for the rest of the year, but probably try to come back to Europe later this year. Definitely start working on some new material. That's what I want to do, but it's up to him as well.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully have some more material by the end of the year.
So you guys also see yourselves doing this like in 20-25 years time?
I'm not sure about that long.
We've already been doing it for 10 years.
See how long our backs and necks hold up. But yeah, while it's still fun, we'll keep doing it. When it stops being fun, then we'll find something else to do. But yeah, it's still heaps of fun.
Alright, to slowly wrap this up, I would like to ask you a little bit differently. If what place would you recommend for a person to visit when somebody comes to Tasmania, like metal-wise?
Metal-wise.
The Tasmanian Devil Park. That's pretty metal. You get to go and visit the devil.
Yeah, it's not every day people get to see devils, so it's a good place to visit.
Right, thank you for the time. Would you also have any last notes for the viewers of this interview?
Thanks for being interested in Psycroptic.
Yeah, come check us out at the shows.
Right.